Here we have two of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, in Fouad Abiad and Iain Valliere. Well, from Canada anyway, eh? Gonna be extra nice to these fellers here. Fouad Abiad, obviously, he has that awesome channel. He does bro chat. Iain Valliere is on that all the time. These guys are friends. These guys are bucks. And from time to time, Fouad Abiad, he mentions my channel. And with positive notations or what have you. So, we're going to be extra nice to both of these guys. They're handsome, too. Well, I really don't find them all that handsome. I don't find any man, really. RuPaul's not bad, but you know what I'm... Sing! We're going to be honest. When it comes to judging physiques, that's one thing we do not joke around about here. Now, as far as the versions we used... It was a difficult venture to find Fouad's best version. He's pretty consistent. This is both of these guys earlier on, I believe. Fouad Abiad, 2012, Flex Pro. Look good here. Look very good. Iain looks a little sleight of hand. He looks a little lean. Know what I'm saying? But it's possible that I missized them because Iain, he's going pretty straight-legged. And... Fouad bending at the knees, things of that nature. He's a little bit shorter anyway. He's probably not much shorter than Iain. You guys, Iain Valliere and Fouad, you guys would know exactly how tall the both of yous are. So, but either way, Iain doesn't stand a chance against this Canadian destroyer, Fouad Abiad. But we're going to have a look at a couple of other versions too. You see, Iain really hit his stride. This is the 21 Texas Pro. Is the 2021 Texas Pro the only one that Andrew Jack didn't win? I think so. He looked good here, but this is not a good picture of Iain. Also, it's panned back. Kind of distorts the size, but you can clearly see his arms are bigger, his wheels are bigger than they were back at that 2015. Iain. Both of these guys, good old Canadian bucks. Buckingham Palaces, to be precise. Now, this is Fouad at the 2014 Europa Super Show. Was that in Europe? I believe it was in Europe. It's a Europa Super Show. Of course it was. But he looks good and big and muscular here, too. So he's giving Iain Valliere, the Texas Pro champion, a run for his money. Now, what would be interesting, would be if these guys ever competed together. Oh, look, they did. At the Toronto Pro 2016, eh? Yeah. Iain, he lost to Fouad. Fouad was a couple of places ahead of Iain. And he's a bigger junk of a man. He has more muscularity. A bigger dude. Iain, I don't think, hit his stride. His big old stride. But he's in good condition. His condition's good. And I guess against a normal human being, I mean, yeah, he's a freak of nature. Arms, not too bad also. So we're not shatting or pooping on Iain Valliere's physique here. He's still pretty good. But the hoss is good. I'm too sexy to wear pants, too sexy to do this dance. Go to the front, Lat Spread, for goodness sakes. I apologize for that foolishness. And back to these two original versions that we used. 2012 Flex Pro for Fouad, and was it 2015 Toronto for Iain. Iain, again, very small, and sizing, guys, was a little bit of an issue. Fouad going more straight-legged in this pose than in the front double. And Iain, of course, he is probably an inch taller. He just does not have the size and width of that upper body. He's a longer-legged creature, is Iain, and a longer torsoed man is Fouad Abiad. Now, this is where sizing gets even more difficult. Here is the Texas Pro, and I made Iain shorter. Well, why did you do that, Max Muscle? He leans back. That's what creates that huge V-taper because he doesn't have a very big upper body opposed to his wheels, does Iain? So he has to do things like that to create that X frame. And wowzers, does he hit the spot? Hit the spot. Now, there was no pictures, or any good pictures anyway, of Fouad Abiad hitting that front lat spread, and it's almost like NPC News Online was trying to rip him off. Look at this picture they posted. This is not even close to hitting the pose. So, Fouad Abiad, you get a hold of somebody, whoever posted this picture over at NBC News Online. You know this is not, you could hit a better pose than this. You were about to hit it. And they took the picture. But yes, Fouad, he can hit a pretty decent front lat spread, but let's face it, lads and laddies, this Iain Valliere, top 30 front lat spreads of all time, top 20, maybe even. It's pretty good. Trust me, it's a good one. Now, as we turn to the side, just a quick question, if you are in fact watching Iain Valliere and Fouad Abiad. Quick question for you guys. I know you guys are Canadians. Do you remember those old Heritage commercials where the guy says, "Ah, Mr. Clarence, why don't you just read it then?" And then Mr. Clarence says, "Both of you know I cannot read a word." He couldn't read. You guys remember that commercial with the guy that says, "Ah, yes, Mr. Clarence." He looked like some sort of a fish man, like a part man, part shark or something. Did you guys notice that? Just a serious question, guys. I would like to know. So yeah, using these old versions, the Hoss, Fouad Abiad, he's going to be winning. But bring on that Texas Pro version. Ooh, I'll be darned. Fouad Abiad, this is him, like I said at the 2014 Europa Super Show. He is awesome too. Look at the size of the quads on Iain. Now, right out of the chute, genetically speaking, I'm sure these guys could agree to that. Fouad has a bigger torso heap. He is larger in the upper body. And Iain, he has big long quads, but they're filled out, so they're going to be bigger. He's a runner, Iain, he can just move like the wind. Run like the wind, they used to say. And the other kids would say, "Well, I can run like lightning. Lightning's faster than wind." I don't know. Wind can get going pretty fast, fellers. Oh, we are already into the side tricep pose, me trying to be foolish again. Now, interestingly enough, there wasn't a whole lot of pictures of these guys from the same event, that Toronto Pro, the 2016, but we do in fact have both back shots, so stay tuned for those. Again, you can see that tremendous size advantage Iain has. And he bows out that hanging hamstring with his far leg. Sing! Slips that little dandy in there. Huh? You guys know exactly what I'm saying. Look at the big man's chest of Fouad Abiad. He has maybe the biggest man's chest of manly chestums. I'm here to tell you. Oh, we do have two previous versions. Interesting. Fouad bending down. These guys have not yet perfected their poses. I don't know why I showed this one last. I should have showed this one first, and then showed you how they perfected their side tricep poses. But having said that, I think the moment we have all been waiting for is here and now. The back poses, beginning with the rear lat. Iain Valliere, again, guys, he was just in the oven. He was just baking in the oven, not quite fully seasoned. Decent lat insertions, though. You can see. Look at the traps on Fouad Abiad. Very peeled as well. Look at this, guys. He's probably out conditioning I was going to say the Canadian man. They're both Canadians, right? Yes. Now here is both of them from that Toronto Super Show. And I wasn't there. Absolutely I wasn't there. And sizing could be an issue here. But is it just me? Or is Iain slightly more peeled? We didn't see all of the shots from this event, but he is pretty conditioned. I'm sure the both of them could look at these pictures and say, okay, well, just from this instance here, Iain might be the more conditioned man. Could be. But the fact of the matter is that he placed 7th and Fouad got 3rd. But taking nothing away from anybody here, and here is the other 2 versions. The Europa for Fouad and the Texas for Iain, both of them pretty conditioned. Iain has filled out that back a little bit more, you can see. The outer lats for sure. He might have had better lat insertions back in the day. I don't know. You can see Fouad perfectly drawn out back. Nice thick muscles everywhere. Good separation. Hamstrings, glutes. Not bad at all. That Texas Pro of Iain Valliere was one of the more shredded bodybuilders that we've produced as humans. And it's hard to tell from pictures, but many people that were there, they say, oh man, Iain is shredded to the diced. Let's go to the second back shot. Rear double by, both arms Louis. And speaking of Lou, could you imagine Hulk Hogan versus Lou Ferrigno? That's Hulk versus the Incredible Hulk. Huh? No? Nobody? Come on. Hogan looks like he's a little too smooth next to Ferrigno. You're not that smooth, Ferrigno. You're pretty ripped. Back to the business at hand, for goodness sakes. What a good back on this Fouad. He is taking Iain to school in terms of that is concerned. But I'm sorry, Iain. I know this is way back when. Don't worry. We're going to have a look at the other versions too. We just want to keep this fair. And here is the Toronto that they both competed in, 2016. And Lawcaw said Iain got 7th, and if I'm not mistaken, Fouad got 3rd, way ahead. But in terms of condition, I don't know how far ahead he is. Iain is pretty shredded, but he is not as big. You see, it has to be the balance, the whole package. And, Fouad's got a pretty good back. What do they say? No, I'm not going to say that. Here is the 2 good versions. Maybe they're 2 best. I don't want to say that. I'll say it for Iain. He's pretty good at that Texas. He was pretty consistent also. Heck, he was good at the Arnold Classic, where he got 2nd place, 2nd prize. But still, you guys are going to just go to the comment section. You're going to say Iain is just more conditioned. Period. That's it. Because he's known for his condition. And, Fouad, is he known for his condition? Have a look at his Christmas tree. The guy is shredded to the diced. He is peeled to the socks. Proper, as Louis Marco used to say. So yeah, he would have give Iain Valliere a run for his money. Absolutely. And here's the abs and thigh.
And interestingly enough, they both have tremendous separation in the abs. Oh, hold on a second here.
There, I think that's better. Oh, no, hold on a second. I don't know what's going on. Something's screwing this volume thing up.
Oh, no, it's the speed. It's the speed, not the volume. It had nothing to do with the volume. But yes, great abs and thigh on this Fouad Abiad. Iain, never his strongest pose, but he's got some good separation here at least. Now the Texas Pro, this was disappointing for us fans. It's difficult to get a good picture of Iain Valliere hitting the abs and thigh. He's hitting an abs and side. It's the abs and side pose. No? Well, I thought that was pretty clever. Wrote that down last night. But yeah, Fouad Abiad. He is winning this pose along with many, many other poses. And that includes your Texas Pro version of Iain Valliere. Now, using these 2 versions, I think it's a closed case. I think that Fouad Abiad, he was just more muscular, and it appears that he's just as good of condition. But we know Iain Valliere, he is one of those guys that he doesn't have quite that separation of certain fellers, but he has that thin skin, things of that nature that he is renowned for. So I can't really say that Fouad was in better condition. Unless you were there, you shouldn't really say that, especially about Iain. Now we're finishing this one off with a good little package. And I'm sure Fouad was thinking the whole time,
But Mark's Max Muscle, why don't you use the Vancouver Pro 2015?
well, I would have. They only really had 2 poses. The abs and thigh and the most muscular, and you were already beating Iain in that abs and thigh pose. I don't think we really needed to nail it home any harder, and it's already been nailed. Very thick, full, luxurious, and grainy was he at this Van Pro. I say Van instead of Vancouver. It saves you time. Texas Pro, what can you say? Iain Valliere, luxurious. And look at those mounty bumps, those side saddles, those quads. They're impressive. And doesn't have the wide clavicle of, say, I'll just pick a name out of the air here, Fouad Abiad. Oh, look, he's right there. But he is ripped to the diced, shredded to the diced, and most certainly using this Texas Pro version. I think that it would be a close one, but Iain, sure, he could beat any version of Fouad Abiad. But is it fair to say? No, it is not, because, that Flex Pro, that Europa Super Show, Fouad Abiad, he was darn sure giving Iain Valliere, the best Iain, a run for his money. And it appears, not one backshot on NPC News Online from this version. It appears that this version, the Vancouver 2015, was an even better version of Fouad Abiad. So the debate continues. I would really love to hear these 2 superstars debate this, because they were there. Maybe they could get somebody on their program. It's a good program, by the way, that was there for a couple of these events. And say who would have won between these 2 Canajeeins. Because at the end of the day, this is serious business. I would like to know who the best Canadian bodybuilder of all time was. Iain's up there. We have Paul Dillette. I think Joe and Ben Weeder, both Canajeeins. I mean, Ed Terrio. Gotta throw in Ed Terrio for sure. Regan Grimes, another one. IFBB Pro, Robin Strand. Morgan McDonald. Several. Now, this video featured many different versions of these 2. But I believe that the Tampa Pro for Iain Valliere is perhaps his best all-around version. And there was a version that was not on NPC News Online, and I conveniently discovered it afterwards. It is an Orlando Pro. It's on a different site that shows other bodybuilding events that are not on NPC News Online. So there is those 2 versions, and I will make an ultimate decision on who is better. I will in fact do that do like so Sylvester Stallone, he says do. I will in fact do that comparison if you get this video up to 300 likes. It's a modest request. So I think it's interesting. These 2 dudes, Fouad Abiad, Iain Valliere, 2 very nice fellers. So I definitely wouldn't mind doing another comparison using perhaps their 2 best versions. Have a great one.